Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Lux Illuminated and we'll be facing off against the Grand Heist adventure. I still need to go ahead and clear this adventure with a Demacian champion and quite honestly I don't think any other champion is better than Lux for this, or at least no other champion that I have access to. I went ahead and considered the regular Lux for a second, but because of the threat escalation, the opponent's units just get too high-statted too quickly, and you can't really final spark them down. So we're doing this instead. Pure Cleaving Axe and Lux's Incandescent Baton are just synergistic. The one extra mana is nice. Boosting everything when you're giving them everything spirit and impact is very good. And the Crown Guard Inheritance is just a nice backup plan in case we don't kill the opponent in one shot. The rally effect, when in moderation, is not too bad. All of these choices are a bit terrible, however. I don't really think I want to pick any of these. Tamkench is worth considering, right? No. We can give Tamkench Barrier. And Fortune Croaker is decent, I guess, for card draw. But all the other options seem terrible. I think this is just a reroll angle. We kind of want something that can be played alongside Lux on the first turn. No, let's reroll. Vex, Jarvan the 4th, Gwen. And then Vex could work. We do boost the opponent's units as well. Since Vex applies Gloom, yeah, I think Vex is the correct choice. We're going to apply Gloom with Vex, boost my units, and debuff his. Fast Steel is an easy pick there. The extra card draw really synergizes with our fast deck. Or at least I'm going to try and draft a fast deck. Normally I would pick Green Fang Warden here. But in this adventure I don't really want the scout attacks. Pythos should be fine. The Farsight alteration is decent. And here I guess I'm picking River Shaper, right? Citria Lady of Clouds is too expensive. And we don't really have a lot of spells to draw. Ooh, Unyielding Spirit. Normally I would pass on it, but the Norristy makes it a little bit more appealing. I'm going to pick it up. Even though it's a mistake, or I think it's a mistake. It's fun, that's all that matters. Same thing with the Bursting Backpack. Augmented Clockling here, I guess. The Elusive can be a win con. Okay, this is just terrible. I feel like in this adventure you're not really drafting your deck, you're drafting the least bad card every time. Yeah, let's reroll here. All of these choices are terrible. Can I get a single decent one? I considered the Vanguard first plate for a second, but no. I guess we're just picking up the Demacian still here for our last choice. But I'm not exactly happy about it. It's definitely going to be one of the first cards being cut from my deck. It's just not that great of a card, especially considering the type of deck we have. We can go Lux Illuminated into one of the 2 drops. Actually, no, never mind. We start with 4 mana. My bad. So we need to do something else instead. We can go double 2 drop, or we can go for the Vex. Let's go double 2 drop. No. Vex debuffs the opponent on summon, right? But I don't want to expose her to removal, so this is probably better. Does the opponent even run removal? Now that I think about it, I don't think the opponent runs removal in that deck. Or at the very least, not hard removal, just combat tricks. Okay, the Ezreal unit on board is nice. I'm just going to summon Vex here, try to minimize the amount of damage I take, and then I can prismatic barrier something to keep at least 1 unit on board alive.
I'd rather be anywhere than here.
Wait, what? Oh, attack grant the strongest enemy gloom. I thought it was attack and summon. My bad. In that case, I'm going to end up taking a bit more damage than I wanted. At the very least, I'll be able to save Vex. 10 damage hurts, but it's not the end of the world. Next turn I can go Lux into something else. Okay, that's annoying. Now I have to force the prismatic barrier in order to save Lux. I was going to use the prismatic barrier on Vex in order to get a free attack.
What was I so afraid of?
22 damage. Okay, the opponent just takes it. Fine by me. Let's just drop the bursting backpack. Maybe it will be decent. Then next turn we can use the ceaseless sentries to develop a board to champ block. Never mind, I have to use the prismatic barrier to save the Vex. Here was I saying that the opponent didn't run a hard removal. Let's drop down the Fortune Croaker. Oh, that's interesting. The Fortune Croaker buffs up my own unit because of our power. That's good to know. For future reference. Let's just block like so. Keep Vex alive. And try to minimize the amount of damage I take here. Next turn I think I just win if I attack with both Lux and Vex. Oh, and I even have the Fortune Croaker as well. Sure, he grows his Dunekeeper until he's very large, but with the extra attack from Rally, I should have more than enough damage to close out the game. Or I just kill the opponent in one attack. That works as well. Yeah. Nice. We managed to do it without much issue. We just lost 12 life on our first encounter. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. It would be incredibly sad if I were to somehow die here, or if I weren't able to complete the adventure. Let's try to cut the bad card out of my deck. Yeah, definitely the Demacian Steel, right? Yeah, the Demacian Steel is the best, the worst card, I mean. Even though the augmented clockling is also a bit too expensive for my tastes. Let's go for the Aspiring Chronomancer, because the Buhuru Cultist seems like a more aggressive encounter. I know for a fact that the opponent has a lot of 1-drops and a lot of cheap equipment to put on said 1-drops. And I don't want to deal with that, so we're going for the opponent that plays for decimates in the bottom of the deck. I just have to hope that the opponent doesn't draw into them right away. Let's drop down the Conchologist, go for a double 1-drop here. And the opponent captures my unit. Annoying. Let's see if he blocks. Nice. Now I can fight toss the opponent's unit down. Trade it in. And the opponent lost his board presence. Ooh, General's Palace would be great in any other adventure. But in this one, it's a little bit of a dud. Annoying. There goes my Vex. I should have figured the opponent had 2 of those. I guess this turn is Lux Illuminated into attacking with my units. Crimson Disciple is a decent pickup. I'll be able to target it with the Portion Croakers, buffing it in the process while also dealing damage to the opponent's Nexus. Yeah, I want to keep my unit alive, right? Yeah. Let's... Do I want... Yeah, let's boost all of our allies. Increase the amount of stats on the board. We also proc the rally effect from the Lux. Sure, the opponent units get buffed up. Or one of his units gets buffed up. But I think this is for the best. Because we can go for a second attack. Deal 26 damage to the opponent right away. While also growing our unit to an absurd degree.
Focus using multiple lenses. Clever.
Vex comes back.
On the instructions you drafted.
We fight together.
Let's just keep drawing. Family Reunion is decent. Allows me to boost my units further. And it also debuffs one of the opponent's units. That board is not really that threatening, opponent. Let's keep dealing damage to the opponent's Nexus while also buffing my own unit. Next, this turn is the opponent's last turn, right? What can they do when I attack with everything?
My turn. Demacia defends its own. What was I so afraid of?
Nothing, I think.
We fight together. Excuse us.
Okay, the time has come. Generates 2 blockers. But it's not enough to save the opponent. Game over. Just like that. And I even got to cast the Unyielding Spirit, even though it was unnecessary. Conchologist with Radiant Plate Armor. I don't really think I want to increase the cost of my Conchologist. So it's between Soul Harvest and Incandesce. Definitely the Incandesce. There's no way we find a unit that can be targeted by the Soul Harvest. Flexible game plan, I guess. More card draw is always good, right? And none of the other cards are decent enough. This might be one of the rare situations where we don't go for Twisted Fate. We do target our own units, so I think we can justify going for action. Now we just have to win. Let's toss the Conchologist and keep the family reunion and the other Conchologist. We can go for both of them. Plus another 2-drop if we get one, like the Ceaseless Sentry. And we draw too many cards at the start of the game. Maybe we managed to reach a point where there's too much card draw going on. Because we draw 2 from the game start effect, plus 1 champion, plus 2 for the turn, plus the barrier. That's way too much. We need to empty our hand. So I guess going for double Conchologist is fine. Let's give Bloom to the opponent's unit. I want to get rid of that thing as fast as possible. Because if he keeps it around and he transforms one of his units, I'm going to be in for a World of Hurt. And we keep burning cards. Not the best. Okay, he spent all of his mana, which is good for me because now I can go ahead and remove his Big Game Tycoon, or whatever that card's name is. Now I don't have to run into the risk of the opponent transforming units into massive ones. Let's give Lux Impact. Really benefit from that boost effect from the Spirit Cleaving Axe. Let's drop down the Vex. Then we attack with everything. Yeah, we level up Lux, which allows us to go for a second attack. And that should be able, or should be enough to close out the game this turn. Unless the opponent has something extraordinary for 5. It doesn't seem like it. Let's see if the opponent does something after I go for the family reunion. No. Okay. I guess the opponent just dies. Okay, he's buffing up his shadow in the brush, but that's not enough. Yeah, I'm not even going to let you kill the Conchologist opponent, just to be petty. Neat.
I guess that was a little bit cool.
We closed out the game quite nicely. Now the real question is, can I actually beat the clock hand? I'm a bit worried because this deck usually relies on one turn kills with large boards of units being buffed up by Lux. I'm definitely cutting the Incandescence here, right? Yeah. I just don't think we need the extra card generation when we already have that many cards. Now for the clock hand. Like I said, I'm a bit worried. We have to get lucky and hope that the vault rolls into cards that, or rolls into costs that are actually doable with the cards I have in hand. Ooh, we didn't burn the action. Good. That way we can go action and alongside Lux. And the family reunion as well.
The light guides us all.
The thing is, if I go for Lux alongside action, I won't be able to go for an attack. because action dies, which is a bit unfortunate.
Burn away the shadows.
Yeah, that's not enough. If only I had the relic that allowed me to give all of my units challengers as long as I have Lux on the board. Maybe that would have been better here. It would have at the very least allowed me to pick or go for better attacks, because I get to pick the opponent's blockers. But if I went for that, I wouldn't have been able to go for those explosive turns where I attack twice with Lux. It certainly would have been better. Let's buff up the action, I guess, with the Fortune Croaker. And I think we have to trade action in, yeah. Can we afford to keep him around? I have to protect Lux no matter what. I'll try to protect the action. I'll go block there and then I'll summon the wedding icon. Next turn I can buff up the action. Never mind, the opponent has a time bomb. That would just be my luck. The opponent gets a time bomb in order to kill the 2 units that have 1 health on my side of the board. Well, I guess we're going for the Vex game plan. Also because the opponent, or the Vault, chose a 4-cost card. Now for 0. Can I actually get a 0-cost card? I can if I proc the Vault or the Warlord's Paulus.
The crown guard won't fail.
This levels up Lux. Do I go for the level up?
Demacia defends
I
its
suppose.
own. This luminescence cannot be suppressed. What was I so afraid of? Demacia
The opponent
defends its
gets
own.
the massive clockling.
We fight together.
I actually can get a 0-cost unit here. I just have to give Vex Barrier, right. Then I go for the Sunstone Charger. Get another unit to attack alongside my units.
Hide from the light. We fight together.
Deal a bunch of damage to the opponent, level up Vex in the process. But the damage isn't really relevant. I'm just trying to scare the opponent into blocking. That's the best I'll get. Vex is massive at least. I'll be able to trade favorably with any of the opponent's units. The time has come. I have to find a way to survive this to the best of my ability.
Down. We fight together.
This is decent, but I'm still taking 17. I guess we'll try to rush the Vault. 3 drop. I don't have a 3-cost card. I guess we're going... Oh, never mind. We got a 3-cost card.
Astounding curiosities lie ahead.
Let's try to rush the Vault down then.
Oh
Now it's our turn. The counter is set to 4. I'm forced to play the Clockling. Sure. The ally, I guess. 2. I have 2. I have the Conchologist or the ally. Let's drop her down and override the 1 unit that doesn't really have synergy with my deck. And then we go for another 2. Oh, this is great. We're hitting some nice rolls here. Let's see if the opponent blocks.
Demacia defends its own. We fight together.
No.
Demacia defends its own.
Okay, that's bad. But it could be worse. I'm still able to go ahead and match the amount of units the opponent has on board, so he can't really kill me with the units he has. 8. I can play an 8 cost. Okay, this is just over, right? I'm going to play the Unyielding Spirit, but it's not like it matters because the opponent just has lethal on board. I'm at 1. If only the card or the vault rolled a 1, I would have been able to win. But now the opponent just attacks and I lose. Wait! Why? Why would you do that? You had lethal. You could have killed me. I guess the opponent just decided he didn't want to win for some reason. Why? I'll take it. But I don't understand the opponent's choices. I should have lost there. I definitely should have lost there. Let's pick up the Shadow Totem. It's good with Lux. I'm still baffled though. Shared Mana Flow allows me to go for more flexible first turns. Do I go for the Ruin Runner? Do I feel confident in my ability to rush him down? Yeah, sure. Since I'm on a streak of luck from that clock hand encounter, why wouldn't the opponent attack when he has lethal on board and he has one more unit than I do, and he could have easily closed out the game? Who knows? Well, this turn I can go Lux alongside that 2-drop. That seems like a good decision.
The light guides us all.
Okay.
Good people don't look the other way.
Wait, why did I play the action? My bad. I was not paying attention.
Incandescent.
I'm still going to attack like this though. Yeah, this is better.
So afraid of.
I rallied with Lux as well, so even if the opponent gets a buff on one of his units, this is fine. Oh, there goes my action. Dealing 1 damage there doesn't matter, but dealing 1 damage to the action matters, so that's clever. With 2 Luxes on board, the amount of attack I get is enough to keep action alive. And just like that, we dealt over 30 damage to the opponent. Now 1 more attack and we close out the game. There go my keywords. Can you please stop? Well, at the very least it is not getting blockers for the next turn. Those Sandstone chargers are only temporary. I have to protect Lux here. Yeah, Lux is more valuable than action. Even though I would have liked to keep the action around because action has a lot of spirit on it. Still, this is decent enough. I think I can close out the game here. I just have to attack with the Conchologist. Let's drop down the Clocklink first. See what the opponent does. He has 8 mana, so he has options when it comes to stalling out the game. Yeah, that's what I figured. This is enough for the opponent to stall the game out for another turn. How annoying. Honestly, I'm just going to drop down the Fortune Croaker, buff up the Clockling, And then I'm going to go for an attack with it and the Lux. At the very least we're deal 7. And we also remove one of the opponent's units. Yeah, let's go for a big attack. I'm going to attack with a Sandstone Charger as well. Try to force the opponent into bad blocks. Yeah, I'll keep that one alive. The Conchologist. The Fortune Croaker is just softening up the opponent's unit. His health total is barely moving. And there goes my Lux. No point in playing Unyielding Spirit because that's obliterating. Yeah. He found the only way to remove the Lux. You know what? Screw it, I'm going for the Ascended Skull. No reason not to, right? I have enough mana. And now that I have leveled both those units up, I'm able to close out the game next turn on the attack. Unless the opponent just decides to attack like so. In that case, I can deal a bunch of damage this turn and then close out next turn. You know, this is a very poor choice by the opponent. I don't understand why they're acting the way they are right now. First it was the clock hand, now it's the opponent just deciding he doesn't want to win and attacks with his one blocker. You can try to debuff my units all you want, it doesn't matter because the skill is still going through. Things are going exceedingly well for me. Fortune Croaker, Yordlesmith. I guess the Yordlesmith generates a bit of a board. Some fight shows it. And here, hold them off is the correct choice, right? Titanic Quake doesn't work, flexible game plan is unnecessary. Now I just have to hope I get lucky and don't trigger the Dune Swallower a bunch of times. Lux, Illuminated, Vex, Yardlesmith. Let's keep the Lux, toss the rest. Now I can go Lux into a 2-drop. Sure. Sure. I'm not going to play any of those spells, but sure. Let's debuff that thing. And now we're doing this. We deal 48. We level up Lux in the process. Is this going to be enough to win? Well, the opponent sure decided to take a lot of damage here. I don't think the opponent will survive through this. Just like that, we won. Definitely unexpected. But the opponent couldn't really do much, it was only the first turn after all. The Light of Demacia, Ceaseless Sentry, Haunted Tomb. I guess we're picking up Ceaseless Sentry again. Ooh, Enfeebling Strike. That's good. Definitely makes it so my attacks are a bit better. The unfortunate part is everything here is terrible. I guess we're leaving. And here I'm cutting this Ceaseless Sentry, definitely. I don't think he is going to come up in the upcoming fight against Ezreal.
Wait, where are we going?
I don't think this is enough to beat Ezreal, but I'm going to try anyway. Conchologist Lux is a good first turn like we saw last time, but I don't know if it's enough to beat the amount of health the opponent has. 120. Let's see, let's try to bait out something from the opponent with the family reunion. Okay. Gets a bunch of Ezreals. A grand total of 4 Ezreals, in fact. In that case, let's try to go for the same thing I did last time around. And he's out of mana. Can I close out the game?
Won't fail.
I don't think I can close out the game in one turn, but I can get close to it. At the very least, that Ezreal is not going to, or at the very least the Ezreals won't be able to survive properly,
Demacia defends its own. What was I so afraid
or won't be able to block properly.
Magic brings us together.
Okay, that was a bunch of damage in one turn.
Afraid of. Magic brings us together.
There's 2 Ezreals gone.
Demacia defends its own.
While I still deal a bunch of damage to the opponent's Nexus. If I survive next turn, I just win. So the opponent can't just have removal next turn.
Bow to the god of cloning.
Shakedown, sure. It buffs my own units, in fact. That's fine, I suppose. Let's ally, I guess.
Look great, feel great, be great.
Okay, he's going for the Ancient Malediction, which can be terrible for me if he gets lucky. That's 3. That's a 4th one. Okay, at the very least he stopped in the 4th one.
Watch and learn.
This is going to hurt. Another 11. At the very least he's splitting the Mystic shots he's creating are 2 costs, so he can't play them.
Oh dear!
And now we attack with everything and hope for the best.
Shadows. What was I so afraid of?
54 damage. Can the opponent survive this?
Together. Magic brings us together.
48. But he decides to do 14 to himself.
Non KB.
Okay, he's using up all his resources.
We fight together.
And I still have the Cataclysm in hand.
What was I so afraid
So unless he has something for 2, he shouldn't survive this. This one doesn't have spell shield, right? Let's give this guy impact, or more impact.
Demacia defends its own.
7. I can give it even more by doing this.
Magic brings us together.
8. Can I kill now? 18 damage. Minus 10 is 8. 8 plus 9 is enough. Unless the opponent has something for 2. Do I risk it? Well, I can always do this. Really ensure that I
What was I so afraid of?
have more than enough damage.
Demacia defends its own.
10 impact plus 10 from the damage. 20. Oh, that was close. Way too close. Multiple times, in fact. I still haven't forgotten about the clock hand and how I only won because the opponent decided he didn't want to win. Oof, what a run. But yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.